gets his script from Suzanne at fucking YouTube, reads whatever he's supposed to say, says whatever he's supposed to say, scams millions of people out of their hard-earned dollars with a fucking crypto pump and dump. So the next video that we got here, just talking about the Logan Paul scandal.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video, a very interesting video today. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It is free, really helps out, and please like the video if you agree, and if you think Logan Paul shouldn't be forgiven or just getting away with everything only because it's been, what, a month later? So today we're talking about our man, the man, Attorney Tom, the man behind suing CryptoZoo and Logan Paul to try and get adequate compensation for the CryptoZoo victims. So he has made a brand new update video. If you haven't seen, CoffeeZilla tweeted out, a class action lawsuit has been filed against Logan Paul and CryptoZoo. Oh baby. CoffeeZilla said Logan Paul was just sued in a class action lawsuit for his role in CryptoZoo, along with Jeff Levin, Crypto King, Eddie Ibanez, and more. Previously, and I covered it in my last video about this lawsuit, Attorney Tom thought a class action lawsuit wasn't possible due to the fact in the CryptoZoo terms and conditions, there was a class action waiver, basically meaning joint action couldn't be taken against CryptoZoo, and they had to go through individual arbitration. However, it seems things have changed as Attorney Tom has uploaded a brand new video explaining how. And you know I love seeing Logan Paul get what he deserves. So we're going to go through this video and see what updates we have.
So for sure, dude, even that. Okay, Logan Paul. You know, good for him for doing everything that he's done on the internet. But there's this guy that literally filmed somebody after they committed suicide, posted on the internet, got banned, cried on fucking live television so he could come back, you know, kept doing his nonsense, gets his script from Suzanne at fucking YouTube, reads whatever he's supposed to say, says whatever he's supposed to say, scams millions of people out of their hard-earned dollars with a fucking crypto pump and dump rug pull. Scams, steals from people. And then you guys go to the store and you buy a fucking bottle of Prime. The guy stole money from innocent people, and you guys want to go to the store and buy a bottle of Prime. But Prime has already done like $250 million in sales. Logan Paul and KSI, like, they're already extremely rich. Then Logan Paul goes and steals money from people. And then now every one of you guys still go and buy his drink and support him. Yeah, like, fuck you, Circle K. Circle K only held here, blah, blah, blah. Like, what the fuck? Why do you guys do this? Why do you not look at what you're doing, your actions every fucking day? Like, if you look at the individual and what's going on in his life, and you're like, wow, what a douchebag to just steal from these people like this. What a piece of work. But I'm still gonna go, Prime tastes good. Like, look at who you're supporting. Every time you make a purchase, look at who you're giving your money to. Every time you make an action in the world, look at what you're supporting. Like, yeah, whatever. I sometimes look like an idiot in these videos. Sometimes I just look like some guy in his garage yelling about stuff with a tinfoil hat, fucking turning the fucking frogs gay. Like, I get that. I understand. But at least I'm doing good for the world, man. I know that my actions every day on the stream is either putting a smile on somebody's face, giving them the opportunity to laugh, or I'm waking some people up. I know that I'm not always accurate about everything that I say. I know when I freak out and go on a tangent talking about how the world was a block of ice and now it's not, so climate change is fake. I know the words that are coming out of my mouth aren't exactly accurate to be able to tell people what they should think. But you know what it's doing? It's making people think. I'm making people look at what's going on around them. I'm not just promoting this woke culture, this stay asleep, but we're gonna say we're woke culture. I'm not promoting that. But you guys want to go fucking support Logan Paul. He makes fun of his best friend's fucking religion. The guy has openly made fun of religion. He's filmed the guy after suicide. He's sat there and put down other people that are doing great things because Susan wrote him a script. Like, the guy's a piece of work. Anyway, back to the video.
To this lawsuit. Be sure to check out Attorney Tom's channel, subscribe to his channel, support him after this video. He is doing fantastic work. So he introduces what is actually going on.
We have filed a class action lawsuit against Logan Paul, CryptoZoo Incorporated, and the rest of the CryptoZoo co-founders. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing how we could do this from a legal point of view, why this is different than the arbitrations that we've already filed, and who would be in the proposed class if we are successful in getting it certified.
Confirms that since his last video, he has in fact filed more arbitrations against Logan Paul.
A couple weeks ago, I made a video announcing that we had filed our first arbitration case against the CryptoZoo gang. Since then, we have actually filed more arbitration cases.
And gives us the backstory, which was in the previous video, of why he had to actually file arbitrations, which if you haven't seen the previous video, I'll play for you now.
And in that particular video, when I was announcing the filing of the first case, I went over a version of CryptoZoo's terms and conditions, which included a class action waiver and an arbitration clause. And I explained that for that particular individual claim, we felt like those terms and conditions were applicable, hence why we filed in arbitration.
And then we get into the nitty gritty. Attorney Tom goes on to explain why he feels now he can actually file a class action lawsuit against Logan Paul because they found the original CryptoZoo terms and conditions, which didn't have an arbitration clause or class action waiver in it at all.
CryptoZoo officially launched to the masses at the end of August, beginning of September 2021.
Wow, isn't that crazy though, real quick? This guy goes in and he finds... So when CryptoZoo first launched, they have no class action lawsuits or arbitration conditions for you to sign a waiver so that you can't sue them. But then all of a sudden, all this stuff starts coming to light, and now what they're saying is their documentation. There's a class action clause. Like if you're gonna sign something, you're gonna go commit to something. If something says that you're gonna sign away your class action lawsuit rights, I think something's happening. That's a little fishy. Sign this piece of paper so you can't sue us. I mean, maybe if you're going to play paintball or jump on a trampoline, a liability form. If you're going to buy what people probably assumed was an asset and millions of people are buying it, you should not be signing a class action lawsuit clause. You shouldn't be making it so you and these people, if you all get fucked, you can't come together and sue the place. That makes me think that they're obviously his intent was to scam people.
At the time of the launch, the CryptoZoo's terms and conditions actually did not include a class action waiver, nor did they include an arbitration clause. Behind me are the original version 1 of the CryptoZoo terms and conditions. As you can see, it's not very much. This is actually the entire thing. And it says nothing here about a class action waiver, nor an arbitration clause.
He then shows us something that proves to be very important later, where it says the CryptoZoo terms and conditions are subject to change, and that if you're just holding the NFTs, you somehow automatically agree to any new updated terms and conditions.
At the very bottom, these terms are subject to change. We may revise these terms from time to time, and the most current version will always be on cryptozoo.co/terms. You are responsible for reviewing and becoming familiar with such modifications. Revisions deemed material in the sole discretion of CryptoZoo will include a notification via Twitter or Discord. By continuing to access the CryptoZoo website and by holding the CryptoZoo NFT, you agree to be bound by the current terms.
Which to me sounds shady as hell. Attorney Tom then continues with the timeline of CryptoZoo.
CryptoZoo is now public. There's a lot of hype around it. At the same time, when the game first initially was launched to the masses, we believe a lot of the CryptoZoo co-founders conspired and actually sold a lot of their Zoo token, pocketing millions of dollars at consumers' expense. Meanwhile, at the same time of this dump, the game clearly doesn't work. All of the hype kind of fizzles out because nothing promised was delivered, and simultaneously the price just goes down and down and down.
So we know from CoffeeZilla's work that Eddie Alvarez and Crypto King were the ones he's probably talking about who sold their coins early. Get into where Attorney Tom believes CryptoZoo changed their terms and conditions.
Brings us to January 20th, 2022, which is the day that we believe CryptoZoo updated their terms and conditions to version 2. Now, version 2 is the terms and conditions that includes the class action waiver and arbitration clause.
I found this extremely interesting that only after the fact, January 2022, they add all these clauses to try and prevent legal action when their game isn't working. Some of their team have ran off with loads of money stolen from CryptoZoo victims, almost as if they're trying to save their own asses because they knew that they were fucked. While doing this behind the scenes, they didn't update their investors on anything. Logan Paul, seemingly abandoned the project. Investors didn't hear shit. No one got any updates. This is very interesting, and to me adds another layer of shadiness behind the scenes with CryptoZoo. So, are these new terms and conditions that they tried to squeeze in still applicable now to CryptoZoo victims? Well, Attorney Tom goes on to explain. It's pretty complicated. It is long-winded, so I have to play a longer clip, but I promise you it's worth it.
By updating to version 2 of the terms and conditions, the CryptoZoo team did something called a unilateral modification of terms and conditions. So now the key question is a unilateral modification of terms and conditions valid? And in order to decide this, we first need to determine what type of online agreement were these terms and conditions. Now, generally, there are 3 main types of online agreements that consumers are faced with on a day-to-day basis. The first is something called a click wrap agreement. A click wrap agreement requires a user to agree to the terms of a contract by selecting I accept or I agree button on the website after being presented with the terms or a link therein. The second type of agreement is called a browser wrap agreement. A browser wrap agreement does not require an express manifestation of acceptance. Rather, a user gives their assent simply by using the website. The defining feature of a browser wrap agreement is that the user can continue to use the website or its services without visiting the page containing the terms of use or even knowing that such a page exists. And the third is called a sign-in agreement. A sign-in agreement notifies the user of the existence of the website's terms and conditions and advises that the user that they are agreeing to the terms when registering an account or signing up. The user is presented with a hyperlink to the terms and must affirmatively click to accept the terms. And after examining the CryptoZoo terms and conditions, this is clearly a browser wrap agreement. None of the CryptoZoo consumers had to go to the CryptoZoo terms and conditions page. In fact, a lot of them didn't even know it existed.
Which is true. As we saw earlier in the video, CryptoZoo said that just if you hold CryptoZoo NFTs, you are bound.
How can you fucking make somebody agree to something without even showing them the terms and conditions? Like, there's some terms of service here, but we're not gonna make you accept those. You just by we're gonna hide it all in the back end where nobody goes, nobody will ever see it. But you know, if you just decide to use our stuff, you agree to our stuff. That sounds illegal right there in and of itself. Like, what?
Bound by any new and updated terms and conditions. Even if they purchase the NFTs during the first terms and conditions, there's nowhere for CryptoZoo users to confirm they agree with the new terms and conditions, and it is pretty hidden away from them, which is fucked up. We then get Attorney Tom's analysis on whether or not this will actually affect consumers' rights to take legal action. Personally, you know, and I'm sure to you as well, it sounds like a no-brainer. The class action waiver was only added after the fact, after everything went wrong, after the game wasn't working, after the launch, and they shouldn't be valid. People should be able to file one. However, it isn't as simple as that, as it depends on the state. But apparently in Texas specifically, which is where Attorney Tom practices, they have broader consumer rights protection.
This is going to depend on what jurisdiction the consumer is in. Some jurisdictions have broader consumer rights protections, one of which is the state of Texas, where I'm from and licensed. Apply it to the situation here. Essentially, what we believe this says is a court will not allow a party to cause damage, all of this harm, with version 1 of the terms and service, and then suddenly just apply version 2 of the terms and service retroactively to the users who were already in the ecosystem and already damaged by what was going on.
That sounds completely fair and right. Never know with legal stuff, but thankfully where Attorney Tom practices, they seem to have good laws protecting consumers.
We believe that just because the version 1 of CryptoZoo's terms and conditions says we may revise the terms from time to time, doesn't mean that everything they put in future terms and conditions is automatically enforceable. When you add an arbitration clause, when you add a class action waiver, there was no assent, there was no meeting of the minds by the CryptoZoo consumers.
Damn, my boy Attorney Tom is cooking right now. This is what we like to hear. Logan Paul and his band of merry men trying to cover their asses, but thanks to guys like Tom, they get exposed and their shady shenanigans aren't valid. This is why we need people like Attorney Tom. What a fucking legend. When the internet just moves on, forgives Logan Paul in such an effortless way because he was in Royal Rumble and the UFC signed Prime and KSI is doing a tour with him, they forgive him for such an unforgivable scam and promoting pump and dumps and all the rest of it, this guy is still fighting the good fight. However, it isn't all good news, as due to certain states having different laws, this class action lawsuit for now is only for people who live in Texas.
Going to vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. The class that we are seeking to get certified just has to do with Texans. Nobody else at the moment. Just people in the great state of Texas.
However, if you're living in another state, don't be alarmed, as he is simultaneously with this class action suit doing individual arbitrations for other victims. I mean, come on. You can only applaud this man. Doing all this work to try and get justice for the victims of Logan Paul's shitty scam. People online, you know, will clown me, even when I post this video on Twitter, being like, oh, you're still talking about Logan Paul, even though it's already been a month. As if a month's a long time and you should just move on. Forget Logan Paul's this absolute piece of shit after a hollow apology and rubbish compensation. Well, I'm very glad Attorney Tom is out there helping people who need it to get their money back and reminding people what a piece of shit Logan Paul is. Please do like the video if you agree. Like it right now. It's free and it spreads the word, because clearly there's still a lot going on with this story.
He's so right too. Like, this cloud world that we live in, man, this guy, thanks for the video, Kavos. This guy is talking about is currently going on with the Logan Paul case. But when he goes to post this online, you know how many people are going to be like, you're a fucking idiot. Why the fuck are you still talking about this? Blah, 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 blah. Why did all of you guys just let this piece of shit steal people's money? Go start, like, okay, now that he's, like we said earlier about John Cena, the WWE is the MMA for children. Logan Paul is now in the Royal Rumble, fucking WWE superstar, influencing your children, making them drink a shitty drink that is not good for them, stealing money from fucking people. And this is who you want your children to look up to? You want your children to look up to some fucking guy on YouTube that has never really done anything good for anybody? Meanwhile, you banned Steve will do it. Yeah, Steve's a little bit of a degenerate, but the guy gives people cars. He makes people's life better. But Logan Paul steals from people, gives them a drink that he says is good for you, which is not good for you, and is still somehow idle for children. People still let their kids look up to and watch his show. People, religious people, just let him knock their religion and then send their kids to go watch his fucking show. I'm sorry, man. Guys like this, I have no respect for. Like, I got respect that you, like, made some money. That's cool. Good for you, pal. Here's your pat on the back. But other than that, man, you are a serious piece of shit. You do nothing to help kids get better. You don't promote good, healthy living. You're a fucking entertainer on YouTube. You scam people, and you're only in it for the money. I have no respect for Logan Paul.